Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you've had a very stitchy week and that you enjoyed a wonderful weekend. This is Tuesday, July 26th, and it's early in the morning and I'm already hot. The ticking you hear in the background is my late husband's clock. I had gone away for almost a month and I got home and it had stopped, so I started it back up. People on my crafting channel had gotten used to hearing it tick. It also chimes. I try not to let it chime during my video. But anyway, this was a different kind of weekend for me because I generally don't start several cross-stitch projects at the same time. But this weekend I actually joined two sales, which I'll talk about later. And I started my sister-in-law's Christmas gift, which came in the mail, so I guess that was actually my only haul. And so yeah, let me get started. I did not take pictures last week after I did my video to show the status of the pieces I'm working on, but that's okay. I think you might remember a couple of videos ago I showed this old Mill Hill kit that I've had for years and years. It was $2.50 full price when I bought it, and I know it's very old. It's probably from the early 90s. And I should have opened this bag before I started. It's called Jeweled Hearts. It's really only one heart. And I started it. I can't say I really enjoy this. This black perforated paper isn't really my thing, but this is where I got with it. It's all full coverage with beads, and I like it. I just, you know, it's all right. Maybe it's just my eyes are tired, and I'm usually doing this stuff up in my room later at night, and it's dark. Not my room, I have lights in my room, but the paper is dark. So anyway, that's fun. I will finish it. I just started it like midweek last week, and I'll show you where I am on Somebody to Love. I am almost finished with the cross stitching. She does have DMC metallic white thread in her. All of her ruff around her hood and around her coat is all that white metallic. And the snow in the bottom is some light blue metallic. I think they call it sky blue. And what? Her ears I still have to do the flowers in. And I still have to do all the back stitching. I am planning on not doing the floral snow coming down or this snow, and I may only do one of these flowers. I haven't done that yet. So anyway, without further ado, this is what Somebody to Love looks like now. And as you can see, I finished. Oh, I did do all the flowers inside the ears. I got further than I remember getting. So I just have to do the back stitching and some of the ground that she's standing on. And then she will be completed. So it won't be too much longer on her. And then there is my country garden, which is out of the July-August 1988 cross-stitching country crafts. I don't think this magazine's in print any longer. I haven't checked for it, but I really enjoyed this magazine. I think it had some of the most usable patterns of all the magazines in it. And it even had some doll patterns and some various things that I really enjoyed. And I was really sorry, I guess, that I stopped getting it. And I don't know if it's because I stopped getting it or because it went out of print. Anyway, this is what the garden looks like. with the bird bath and all of the flowers. And I have to say that I am into some heavy confetti here, and this may go away again for a little while because I am at the point where I'm just not having fun stitching it. Oh, we got a little glitter on it, but that's okay. And that's where I am now. I finished the greens over here. I did a little bit more of the confetti, and I still have to do the two birds, and I have to fill in the center section, but that's all flowers. And the little white cat, and I have some back stitching to do, and that would be done. And I've actually gotten a lot further with this one, and I like it. Maybe I'll finish it. I always say that I'm going to put it away, and then I don't. I just keep on plugging, so maybe I will. You never know. So those are the two projects that I have going, and when I watch some of your videos and I see all of the whips everyone else has, I am truly impressed. I am really not a multiple whip type person because I like to, I don't know, work on something. But I do admit that you get to a certain point and it does get old and all you want to do is finish. So that being said, I joined the Back in Black sale that happened on Stitch Mania this weekend, and I started working on Gwen. Now she was part of a haul from earlier in the week, I guess, or the week before. And I bought the milk chocolate linen that was recommended. Restarted it twice. I don't know, I guess I need to watch some videos on stitching on linen or something because I hated it. Didn't throw it in the garbage, but I hated it. So I ripped out the stitching and restarted it on the fabric, the 18 count Aida that I tie-dyed. And this is my tie-dyed Aida, and that's where I got with Gwen. Some of the wrought iron fencing is started, and a lot of her black and her skirt. Now if you look closely there, you'll see some, let me see if I can find it by looking at it. You'll notice inside the dark line there's a little bit of white, like little seeds. Maybe you can see that. Now those are quarter stitches, and I know that those quarter stitches are supposed to be against the stitch next to them. But for this one I figured, hey, you know, if you're going to do a quarter stitch, and that was the dog, the big dog, I figured you might as well let it show. So I've decided to make those quarter stitches design elements in the dress. So I haven't started putting any green in because all I was doing was working on the black. So I don't know how it's going to look. But those little quarter stitches are now out there like little seeds or buttons on the front of the dress. And I think I'm going to like it because I think it looks really interesting. I'm not sure how she's going to look on this piece of fabric, but I think she's going to look okay. So that was my start during the Back in Black sale, which I really enjoyed. That was the first sale I ever joined. At first I'd signed up for the winter holidays in July on Stitch Mania, which started Monday. It's a blur. Started yesterday, Monday, and the 25th. Then I decided to do the Back in Black. So the Back in Black was actually the first sale I participated in, but the Winter Holidays one, I think, was the first one I signed up for. So anyway, yesterday, I didn't get started stitching until later. I spent the day kind of kitting this up, and there's one color I'm missing, which is a number 550 Violet DMC, which I can get. And this is from the June 1997 Cross Stitch Needlework magazine. I love this magazine. This also has gorgeous, gorgeous patterns in it. I don't know if this is still in print. If it is, I will resubscribe because It's got beautiful stuff. Anyway, I started the Three Wise Men, and I just started last night. It calls for dark fabric. I didn't want to stitch it on dark because, I don't know, I just didn't. So what I did is I started it on fiddler's cloth. I think this is, again, 18 count fiddler's cloth. And I got, oops, one of the turbans started for the Three Wise Men. He's the one in the lower corner, that red turban. And it was a pretty easy stitch, just like Gwen was a pretty easy stitch to start. And so I'm enjoying it. I guess I should say that I think working on linen looks beautiful, and I'm sure that it can be fun. But I found working on that milk chocolate, and I even soaked it ahead of time because it was so stiff I couldn't deal with the cardboard feel. And after it dried and I pressed it again, it still didn't feel that soft. I can't see myself stitching on linen. I mean, maybe I will, but I like larger holes and easy to stitch. And that might just be me. But for now, I'm having fun just with this stuff. So, that being said, that's probably how most of my projects will be. So, oh, and I've just, like the black, I just have in this bag for Gwen. And for the Three Kings, I have the floss on a bookbinder ring, all on bobbins. So that was all fairly easy. I have quite a collection of DMC flosses, not large, I guess, by a lot of standards. Back in the late 80s, maybe early 90s, I bought a sampler box of DMC floss, and I meant to bring it down. I may have to pause the video and run up and get it so I can show it to you. It doesn't have full flosses of thread on the bobbins in the box, but it has like sampler threads in the box. And I haven't seen it advertised anywhere recently. But I found that, you know, I had this big box of sample floss, and I mean, I'm not going to live forever. So I figured, you know, if you need color and you don't need a lot of the color, you might as well use some of those bobbins. And I think, yes, for this Three Wise Men, I've used a few of the bobbins. Like there were ones like this, and it came with the stickers. So I think I had to put the floss on the bobbins. Well, maybe I didn't. Maybe it came. I just had to put the stickers on. It might have even come set up. You know, it's been so long. Who knows? Anyway, so it's all these little bobbins, and it has a fair amount of floss on the bobbin. I mean, not a lot, because you can see a skein of floss is actually pretty fat on a bobbin, and these bobbins are pretty skinny. But it's enough. I mean, some of this, like I've already used when I did the turban for this one king, the darker garnet red. That's all that this project called for, was what was in his turban. And then these few little pieces out here, I think, are actually a part of a decoration for one of the boxes of, you know, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So, yeah. So some of this colors you really don't need a lot of anyway. So my sample floss is going to come in handy. Now, my sister-in-law loves online gaming. She's not really a crafter. She says her mother used to embroider and do cross-stitch, but she likes playing cards online. And she plays, you know, with like a guild, a group. I'm not sure what online card playing clubs are called. So I saw someone doing the Jack of Clubs, I think. And I thought, wow, Blanca would probably like that and make a great Christmas present. So what I bought was the Queen of Hearts, and it's a Jim Shore, and he's one of the Disney artists. And there are 3 other patterns available. And I bought this on eBay, and it wasn't terribly expensive. And I bought it, the person who was selling it was this Filigo Sales, and it came rather quickly. So it has a Needlecraft online store on eBay and Amazon, and it says it has fast shipping, and it, like I said, it came within a week. So, and I don't think it actually came within a few days. So it really wasn't bad. I started this kind of late last night, and it's going to have to be one of my focuses if I want to get it done by Christmas. So I made my working pattern. The reason I only got this far is because I did a lot of counting. Because instead of starting in the middle, like it recommends, I decided I was going to do the top border, because the inside of the cord, now this is the fabric that came with it, I stitched around the edges. It's an Aida, but the color inside the card border, there's a back outline stitch around it, but the floss is almost the same color as the Aida. The pink on there is just one of the fade out sewing pens that you can get. This is a white, but it's got a pink end, and it has an eraser end, but it also will disappear over time or with water. So I counted it, I counted it, I counted it, marked it with pins, counted it, stitched it, counted it, and then went back and marked every 10 stitches with the pink pen, because there's 80 stitches across the top. So I mean, it was pretty straightforward, but when it looks so much like the fabric, it's hard to keep track, especially under regular room lighting. I didn't have my OT light upstairs, and I didn't really have any direct task lighting. I was just going with my overhead light, so that was interesting. It said once that I use a magnifier when I do things, and a lot of times I just use like dollar store cheater magnifying lenses, because when I was 49 I had cataract surgery, so now I don't need glasses, but I still need magnification when I do small things, because I like to be able to see the detail. So what I use is I use this magnifying visor, and I've had this thing probably 20 years, and I love it. It's got 2 different strengths of lenses. There's a second one in there you can snap down in front of the first one. I generally only use the first one. I find the second one is too much. I love this. I don't know what I would do without it. Those are my starts, and that's my whip progress. I don't really plan a rotation. I'm kind of an impulse stitcher, so I usually stitch on things when the mood strikes, because I find if I'm not in the mood, I'm not going to stitch it well. I had to, like I said, I started Gwen twice because I just could not get into the chocolate brown linen. I'm going to have to watch some videos on how to stitch on linen, because I just can't see those threads. Those boxes just don't work for me. So, and I know it's probably operator error. It's probably something I don't do right. But that's okay. I mean, I'm good. And I just have the floss for the Queen of Hearts in one of these floss boxes. So let me go up and get my sample box. Okay, I'm back. Excuse me while I pull my chair in a little. Yeah, I went up and I got my box. Pardon the wear and tear on it, but this is what it looks like. And it says, this collection of color belongs to, and I just wrote my name on it. And the date I wrote on there is 1991. So, and it has some stickers in it, so I'm thinking I did put the stickers on. But on the back side of that little paper that's in the cover, they had pre-printed all the colors that are on the bobbins inside this box. So I think they put the bobbins in the box, they wound the floss, they put the bobbins in the box, and then I had to go in and put the numbered stickers on, I think. Long time ago. Anyway, look at this. Now, if we could still get sample boxes like this, they would probably be worth it. So there is what the DMC sample box looked like. And it was a collection of color. And I don't know if it was for an anniversary or not. 1991, I don't know. I know I found the ad for this in a magazine. And at the time, I don't know how much I paid for it, sorry. At the time, it seemed like a lot of money, but back in 1991, I know it was nowhere near what it probably would cost today. So, and some of those bobbins are out of this box now because I have determined that I should use them. I mean, what's the point of having something if you don't use it? And that's where I guess I'm coming to in my life, is I buy things and I put them away because I don't want to use them for something that's not really important. But then I find that the really important thing never comes. And so I have all this stuff that I'm saving for a better thing. And why? There's always something new and something better coming out. So if you have it and you want to do it, or you want to use it today. There's no better time than today. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. I mean, floss tubers talk about plans. I plan to stitch. I have no set rhyme or reason to when I might stitch. I'm working on a doll. I do have a deadline on my doll, so I do need to focus on that. I need to stop stitching on this and start working on my doll. But anyway, that being said, when we talk about plans, not being morbid here, I'm just saying, almost 7.5 years ago, my husband passed away unexpectedly. He had a hemorrhagic stroke. And we had all kinds of plans. I mean, we had some big plans. We put a lot of stuff off until he retired and I could retire. And he was retired not quite a year, and all of a sudden he was gone. And I still had 3 years left to work. So anyway, the long and the short of it is, I make very few plans. I heard someone say once that if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans. So I don't plan. I mean, I have no plans. It's whatever God has for me. And it'll generally be a surprise. I live my days. I try to live my days in the moment. If I am supposed to be somewhere, then I'll be there. If I, am sitting home stitching, then I'm happy to sit home and stitch. I've always been kind of a solitary person, so being alone doesn't bother me, although I'm rarely ever alone. I have a house full of animals. I have a house full of people still. So that's good. I'm never lonely. I always have things to do. But I very rarely plan. My daughter will book a vacation for us and we'll go on vacation. And I plan to go on that vacation, but I don't plan things that I haven't set to do, I guess. And so I don't say I'm going to stitch on anything in particular. If I feel like stitching and something sparks my fancy, then I'm going to stitch it. If I want to work on a journal, then I'm going to work on a journal. If I want to build something with polymer clay, then I'm going to build something with polymer clay. I just have to go with how I'm feeling in the moment. So that's me. I guess that's a get to know your needleworker thing, is I'm kind of spontaneous that way. I do what I feel like. I'm lucky to be able to do what I feel like. So anyway, those are all my whips. I plan to keep working on my doll, which I will show you at a later point, because right now she is definitely in the ugly phase. Ugly phase. I'm hoping she works out okay, because she's supposed to go to a show. I was supposed to have her done in a week. It here's another aside. See, I ramble. I did use my tie-dye, the spray dye that I used in another video. And I did some muslin. This I did in like a orange and pink. My clock is going to chime, but it's only the half hour, so it only chimes once. And then I used this green and blues. And then I did another piece that is mostly blues with just a little green. And I didn't do this for cross stitch. I did it thinking I might make, you know, my doll out of it. And I did use the green fabric as part of the base. Most of it's going to be covered up with other fabric and with beads, but a colored base makes it kind of fun. So anyway, that's what I've been up to. I've been kind of just doing my thing. I mow a lot of grass around my house, so that takes up time. Other than that, every day is as it comes. So I hope that you enjoy every moment of your day. We all have good times and bad times, but we're thankful for those moments. And until the next video, thank you for joining me. I so truly and sincerely appreciate your time, your friendship, your spot in this community, and allowing me to be part of this community. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And until the next video, God bless.